Hello, my beautiful people. How are we doing? I guess we are doing great. Thank you for that. This is still your girls Ukebu. And don't forget that this is still Rose Ukebu channel where we talk about the realities of life in connection with living a purposeful life. In connection with living a life worthy of emulation. In connection and in conjunction with living a life that God really wants us to live. And so today we want to talk about a pressing topic. For some time now, there has been a trending topic of physical abuse, domestic violence. Okay, but first of all, we want to talk about. Let me start by saying that there cannot be a domestic violence without an emotional abuse. Yes. You might ask me how. Let me tell you. Let me use myself as an example. If I know that this bachelor that wants to come for my hand in marriage, if I know that he's a bully, if I know that he beats a woman, I would not want to go into that marriage. So before there is a domestic violence, there must be an abuse. There must be an emotional abuse. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about this domestic violence in full. But today, I want us to talk about, what's prompted me to start making this video right now is when I was going through my social media handles, there was a particular question. Someone asked, in this case of Osinachi Nwachukwu's death, someone asked, does it mean that women don't really see this before going into marriage? Does it mean that they don't know? Does it mean that is it that there's no way you can actually find out if this marriage is going to be or is going to land you in domestic violence or not? And then no one could give the answer. I went in search for an answer. I'm going to read a few things to you. Things that can cause, things that when you see them, you actually know that this can actually bring about domestic violence, things that can actually be an abuse. Now, when it comes to the case of men, when a man threatens you or threatens to hurt or kill you, maybe in the course of a relationship, you can notice by this that he will actually bully you. He will actually cause domestic violence. When a man harms you or takes your child away or your children away from you, that's an emotional abuse. Threatening to take your life or take his or her own life when you leave them, okay? Point out, when the person points out your flaws and mistakes on a regular basis is an emotional abuse. Accuses you of things you know nothing about is an emotional abuse. Blames you for their problems is an emotional abuse. Blames the way that they treat you with their life difficulties or problems is an emotional abuse. Makes subtle threats or negative remarks with intent to frighten or control you is an emotional abuse. Disregards your needs is an emotional abuse. Uses sarcasm or teasing to put you down is an emotional abuse. Accuses you of being too sensitive so that they can deflect their abusive behaviors is an emotional abuse. Belittles you is an emotional abuse. Tries to control you is an emotional abuse. Shows no compassion or empathy over you or ever is an emotional abuse. Corrects or chastises you for your behavior is an emotional abuse. Gains satisfaction from making you feel as though you are always wrong is an emotional abuse. Gives you disapproving or contemptuous look that causes you to feel shame or embarrassment is an emotional abuse. Emotionally unavailable when you need him or her is an emotional abuse. Intolerance is an emotional abuse. Has an inability to laugh at themselves is an emotional abuse. Neglects punishment or abandons you to hazard their way is an emotional abuse. Doesn't care about your feelings is an emotional abuse. Views you as their property is an emotional abuse. Uses sex as a way to manipulate, punish, and control you is an emotional abuse. Shares personal or private information about you with other people is an emotional abuse. Denies being emotionally abusive. When you confront the person even denies being emotionally abusive. Is an abuse. Is an emotional abuse. Now, let me tell you one thing. You can say all this comes from men. Let me shock you one thing. Do you know that women also emotionally abuse men? Yes, women abuse men as well. I'm going to tell you how. I'll just read a few things here. Now, number one is controlling behavior. When a woman is trying to like control everything about you, she controls, I don't like you to be with this particular friend, I don't want you to be with this person, I don't like you to wear this clothes, I don't like that person is emotional abusing because that person is not allowing you to do what you want to do. Verbal abuse, of course, women are very good at that, yelling, talking, all the time. Then we have violence, like, oh, you got me really upset, I had to slap him, I had to do this. There's an emotional abuse as well. It's even a domestic violence. Extreme jealousy, women are very good at that. Or extremely very jealous, they can do anything for someone they love. Unreasonable reactions, of course, these are very, very genuine, and these are very, very true with women. Isolation, oh, I want to be left alone, I don't want to mingle with you, I don't want to have anything to do right now, I want to just be alone. Is an emotional abuse. Instills fear. When a woman knows that this, you can actually, maybe they'll be like, don't worry, when you lay a finger at me, I'm going to make sure that I gather boys who come and beat you up. Or they'll say, don't worry, when you touch me, you know I have a family, or you know that my family is wealthy, my family will lock you up and all that. It's called emotional abuse. When a woman blames everyone else for her mistakes, is an emotional abuse. Inability to handle criticism, always ready to criticize you in an insultive way, always ready to mock you, it is an emotional abuse. So let me quickly tell you that both a man and a woman emotionally abuses his or her partner. So this abuse of a thing is not coming from one side, it is from both sides. And then if we actually look at these points I just listed once again, you discover that your spouse, either in friendship or in marriage, your spouse, one way or the other, possesses this attribute, possesses this character. Check your life, check the life of your spouse, you discover what I'm saying. There's no particular day or there's no particular human being that does not possess these attributes. Everyone does. So what then? And I also heard someone say, and when you are emotionally abused or physically abused, you can walk out of your marriage, you can take a walk out of your relationship. So does it mean that marriage is not actually necessary? Since I said before now that everyone possesses this character, that is the truth. Look at your previous experiences, look at the your communication with your spouse, look at one way or the other, in one way or the other, you must have actually experienced this. You must have actually, or someone, your spouse must have actually told you, you did this to me, or you did this or do to me. You understand? So everyone possesses this character. Then how come God still honors marriage? Knowing full well that, okay, your spouse possesses this, and as such, you have been advised that once you see this in your character, once you see this in the life of your spouse, you should walk away from that marriage. Does it mean that marriage is not encourageable? Does it mean that marriage is not honorable? Does it mean that God speaks against marriage? Let me tell you one thing: marriage is honorable, and God does not joke with marriage. You know why? Because He instituted it. He instituted marriage. God is the one that created marriage. I remember in one of my videos, I told you that marriage is an institution without a constitution. Let me tell you, the major problems we have in marriages is, one, social media. Someone can just come out because you have data, you can just come up, speak about your relationship, or say, oh, I couldn't take this trash, I couldn't take this job, I cannot take this, and someone somewhere is listening to that, and someone somewhere is about to take the same step that you did. Social media is one of the problems we have. Secondly, if you have a friend who cannot advise you positively, that person is not worthy to be a friend. That person is not worthy to be a friend. Stop emulating people. Stop looking at people. Let me tell you, the grace you have is not the same grace that others do. Everybody has a special grace. When God created these fingers, He did not create them equal. Everybody's faces are different. Nobody's face is the same thing. Even if you see two people that look alike, there must be a little difference in it. So you cannot say, okay, both of them. There is no two marriages that are the same. So you cannot handle two marriages as the same. Everyone, God has given every man and every woman a grace. And if God allowed that marriage, He allowed it for a purpose. Remember when He said that His wish for that we prosper and be good, even as our soul prospers. He wants our soul to prosper. That is why He allowed that marriage. Yes. Don't be surprised to hear it. He allowed it. There's nothing that happens under the sun that God is not aware of. And nothing can actually happen if God did not approve it. There must be a reason for that approval. So he allowed that marriage because now let me tell you, women, this is specifically for women. Do we actually, women, we the women, do we actually know that we know we have what it takes to keep a man? Look at First Peter chapter 3, verse 1, I guess. First Peter chapter 3. Yes, I'm correct. First Peter chapter 3, verse 1. What did God say about that? He said women has the ability. There's something he has deposited inside the woman that women, most women don't even know about. Women has what it takes to keep a home. Yes. But sometimes we allow our emotions, we allow anger to deprive us or to redirect us, to lead us astray. Remember what happened to Moses when Moses was very angry and he did what God did not ask him to do? There was a punishment for it. God did not say you should not get angry. Mind you, God did not say you should not get angry. God said that even in that your anger, you should be able to control your emotions. God has put in so much care. That is why. Have you ever wondered why God created women that they should be the women, the people that will nurture a child? God has deposited a whole lot of things inside the woman that women don't even know about. You have what it takes to keep your home. Believe me when I say that. No matter how rough, no matter how bad the man could be, you have what it takes to keep that particular man. Women has this magic that if you actually know what you carry, you can bend a man to whatever you want him to be or whoever you want him to be. You can make a man do whatever. Sometimes you hear people saying they are using a charm to hold their husband or that or that. Some of them don't even use charm. Some of them knows what it takes to do the proper thing. Some of them knows that they carry what it takes to keep a home. No wonder the Bible says in Proverbs that a wise woman keeps her home. You think God is stupid? You think he doesn't know what he's saying? Proverbs chapter 14, I guess, verse 1. Is that a virtuous woman, a wise woman keeps her home? How does a wise woman keep her? Because he knows that he has actually deposited something in a woman that should be able. That is what when the Bible says a wise woman, he did not say all women. He did not say all women. He said wise women. Women that know that they have what it takes to keep a home. Women that knows that they actually have to nurture. You nurture your child. The child you actually carried in your womb for 9 months. You keep nurturing. Even when that child is behaving stupidly, you always have patience with that child. Quite unlike men, most men don't have that patience in them. You as a woman, you have what it takes. You have so much patience that you nurtured your child for 9 months with love. You nurtured your child for 9 months. Why? Because it's your child. Then when it comes to someone else's son, you don't want to nurture it. You don't want to tolerate. But you tolerate the excesses of your own children. You forgive them. You keep treating them with love. So how come it's not so when it comes to your husbands? Women, let me remind us once again, we have what it takes to keep our home. If you refuse to use what God has put inside of you to keep your home, that is what can result to domestic violence. Now, you might be asking me, does it actually mean that even with all these characters, a man can still abuse you? Yes, that is the truth. A man can still abuse you. But then we are going to be talking about that in our next video, domestic violence. We're going to be talking about that in our next video. Please, my brothers and sisters, I would like you to share this video, like this video, share it, subscribe, and turn on your notification for more. In our next video, we're going to be talking about this domestic violence in full. Thank you very much for watching this lovely video. I will love you all so very much. Take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.